Let's see. Okay. All right. So let's see. How do we do Instagram? Stream key. Okay. Well, we got nobody on here anyways, so there's no problem. Update the channel and provide a new stream key.
Oh yeah, you're going to teach me how to do how you do live on Facebook, or not? Sorry, on Facebook, on Instagram.
So I had to go to my oh wait, no, that's not right. Shoot. I'm in the wrong Instagram account. Oh my god.
You have to put a new stream key in every time you go live?
I think so. Let me turn off Instagram, turn it back on. Okay, there we go. All right, create live video. Holiday money stress.
I'll wait till we start. For real.
Is anybody on here? Are we?
We got 2 on Facebook.
Oh man, hey everyone on Facebook.
I think we're trying to get live on Instagram. That's what we're doing, right?
Just trying to get this set up.
Well, I'll just let everybody know that I'm excited about this. I am not didn't grow up a financially savvy person, or let's say I didn't grow up a financially interested person. I think I was kind of savvy. I mean, I didn't work a job all through high school. I mowed yards, I was a business owner early.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I've been up and at them for a while, I feel like I'm pretty financially savvy. I like automating all of my money. Actually, I had a friend ask me the other day if I still used Acorns, and I was just like, "Nah, man, I've evolved beyond Acorns." I was like, my bank does that already. They can round up to the nearest dollar of every transaction and put it into a high yield savings, and then I can have that something from there be automatically deposited every month into my brokerage account. And then my brokerage account is on autopilot to trade, to sell, hold, or trade based on particularly good trader insights. So not just copying what somebody does. So if somebody makes a trade or buys or whatever within like a few hours, I'll do the same thing. So you're not going to be like on top of it, but you're going to be pretty close,
I have a lot. Okay. All right. We're live now. Great. I think we're live on Instagram. Let's see. We should be on Facebook too. I have comments on that, on what you were saying.
Okay. I'm interested.
About like the Acorns and okay, it looks like we're live on Facebook too. I'm going to go to YouTube as well and see.
Not to poo-poo on Acorns at all. I just want to say that. I just meant I really just meant like let's see. I could go live on
okay. It's on all 3. That's awesome.
Okay, I'll go live on my YouTube as well. I don't know about Facebook or LinkedIn. No, I want on LinkedIn because you're staying off LinkedIn with this. So
yeah. I haven't figured out like how I want to do that yet. It feels like a little bit of a conflict, just like with some of the
Yeah.
some of the
I
things.
think that's I don't want to go. I wouldn't want to go with this because it's not a conflict. It's just a different thing. YouTube though is a little bit different. I am, you know, my name on my YouTube channel is not my podcast name. It's not my name,
Mhm.
so I feel like it makes sense to go live on there and steal some of your steez. You know?
Um, so what you were saying about the acorns,
Yeah.
the technology for like the personal finance technology is going to be gobbled up by the financial institutions. So like wherever you hold, I think the way this plays out is like wherever you end up holding your money, whatever that platform is, if it's a financial institution or whatever, at least it will have all of the technology for the financial management
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like they're just
Yeah.
kind of like how Loom got bought by Atlassian,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
like it's just this like these big conglomerates will just eat up all of the little technologies that become very popular, and it will just be owned and managed within that financial institution's app. Um,
Yeah.
I think about Rocket Money as well, like that app where you can download and see which apps you're still paying,
Oh
like
yeah.
the subscriptions that you're still paying for. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to pick that up at some point. Some financial institution is going to pick that up when it makes sense, I imagine.
Yeah.
And just
Okay, so you consider, well, I'm not asking if you consider. I don't have any like information to contest this, but you're saying Rocket Money is still a smaller, like, I don't know what their financial like. Are they still like a startup? Are they still like PE backed? Like, is that
I
the
don't know. It's a good question.
I, I don't know if that matters, but when you're talking about things being bought up, I usually think of like a startup, and then at some point, if they're not, they're like either PE backed or they're bought out by like a PE company or something like that. So I would have thought Rocket Money, which, you know, when you think about it, I still see Rocket Money. I feel like as long as tech companies or things like that are still sponsoring influencers
Mhm.
and like YouTubers, I guess to me that feels like a signal of they are still a smaller, possibly PE backed company, because usually I feel like that's where you kind of pump all of this money into influencers or like YouTubers to promote, and then whenever you either bought out or you get to the point to where you then have to raise prices because the PE money has ran out, and it no longer, you can no longer attract like the average like YouTube audience like with Rocket Money. I feel like I feel like that still feels like an average. I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm thinking about it, but
Well, from what I could tell, Rocket Money is a part of a larger conglomerate called Rocket Companies. The
mm,
estimated revenue for Rocket Money itself, this is a crazy spectrum, 47 million to 87 million. So who
mm,
knows?
yeah,
The holding company that seems to own other financial products reported 1.6 billion in revenue. So they're already bought by, or they're already owned by a pretty large company. So maybe they went through acquisitions recently, or they were
yeah.
acquired more recently. But like that's just how these things. Oh, looks like they bought Truebill. Interesting.
Oh, okay. Truebill did the same thing, right?
I don't know.
Because I feel like I remember back in the day, and back in the day, I just mean really a few years ago, there was, I felt like Rocket Money and Truebill, maybe it was Truebill. I feel like it did kind of the same thing. And then I feel like I remember I stopped hearing about Truebill and Rocket Money and only heard Rocket Money. Kind of like VPNs. I feel like for a while you heard every YouTuber had like a VPN sponsor. You had Nord, and you had there was a bunch of other ones. I don't even know what the one. I feel like NordVPN is like the only one I hear about now. But I mean, do they? I'm assuming one of them probably absorbs the other one, and then if if that's the way it goes.
I think so. I mean, like, it depends on who's got customer base. It seems like Rocket Money acquired Truebill probably for their customer base.
Yeah.
And I don't know the extent of like the product integration, but it's so common. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just what they do, right? I mean, like you grow your business to 10 to 50 million in revenue. That's when like you're big
Yeah.
enough to get noticed by a bigger company. They look at who your market is and what kind of penetration you have, and if you've got some product differentiation, they're just going to roll your thing up into theirs and then make it one
Yeah.
big thing, and then they've grown their customer base by whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like I'm just looking at Truebill. I remember that, like when you said that, now, like I remember it being like, particularly like subscription management and like bill negotiation, and
Mhm.
that's what it's saying like that they did. So I'm sure there was like, I mean, okay, this is probably getting a little out of the like off topic because I know we're supposed to be talking about holiday spending,
Yeah.
but I just want to ask a question because I know that you're more in the know on this. I feel like I understand sort of how things are just because like working in particularly B2B SaaS, like we're seeing like every one of our clients has either been acquired or is acquired, and you kind of like see, those things kind of happening. So like, what do you think is the driver? So do you think Truebill had all of the market share at that point? Let's just say, or most of it, let's just say most of the market share. I'm sure there's probably some outliers of other people, but like between Rocket Money and Truebill had the market share, but Rocket Money had maybe more money to spend
Mhm.
and Truebill is doing better, or they have a better technology, or maybe it's vice versa. Rocket Money has the market share, but Truebill has a better technology or a better system. Like, what do you like? What makes you think like Truebill? Why would they want to buy? Or sorry, why would Rocket Money want to buy Truebill? Is it just because one of those reasons? Either they have more money, or Truebill has a better. Like, why wouldn't Truebill have bought Rocket Money? I'm kind of like
Mhm.
this is like a very like conceptual question, but I think that's like very interesting because in my experience, it seems like either the smaller company has a better system or a better product, but it doesn't have the money or just the ability to like the steez to really get it out there. And the larger company acquires it and then sort of becomes that. I feel like that's typically what happens in SaaS.
It could be a talent issue. It could be a market share issue. It could be a marketing it could be a go to market sort of strategy difference. I don't know anything about Truebill or Rocket Money. This is all like super
Yeah.
anecdotal, but that's kind of besides the point. They may have just had a really great product for a niche set of customers,
Yeah.
and Rocket Money wanted to acquire that functionality, or maybe it was the customer base itself. There could have been some partnership deals in place as well that Rocket Money had with other financial institutions, or um, any other partners that they might be working with that kind of
Yeah.
sweetens the deal. I mean, it could be skinned so many different ways, but
Yeah.
it could be, and it could be the case to your point that Rocket Money had the cash, but didn't have the customer base, and so they
Yeah.
took Truebill to get the customer base, or maybe to get some specific functionality, or
Yeah.
some competitive advantage that they can only get through acquisition, some IP or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
Yeah.
talent. Maybe they just bought them for their talent, for their engineering team. Like, you never really know. I'm sure there is some,
Yeah.
you know,
You-
publicized. Wow. I'm sure there is some
listen,
publicized information through a press release, but you really never know the
yeah.
nitty gritty unless you're in those boardroom
You,
meetings.
you mentioned IP, and I just for the I don't know if there's any people in the audience that don't know like IP is intellectual property. I'm assuming that's what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. IP.
IP,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
intellectual property, something like unique to that business that
Well,
they've maybe
I give
patented.
an example. We just had a client of ours that made an acquisition, and then come to find out the company they acquired was a board member on their company who sort of like saw some white space
Mhm.
in the stuff they did, and basically like created a product and got a few like people to use it and then sold it to them. Like, I mean, that's kind of like a pretty sweet deal. Like, that's a pretty sweet move to be like, some serious inside baseball, I guess, but like totally like,
Say it one more
in a good
time.
way.
Say it
Like,
one more time.
so one of our clients has a board of directors, and somebody on the board recognized a gap in something that their like technology could do.
Yeah.
Went and built that company that did only that thing, and then got a few users and got a few testimonials and sold it to them. So basically sold it to this company. They acquired this solution that this guy built just because he knew it was a gap. So I mean, it's kind of cool. Like I heard about that. I'm like, that's pretty interesting. Like this company probably could have built that on their own at some point, but like, this guy went and sort of like spent the time and the R&D and the whatever to build this company, and then sold it to a company that he was a board on, essentially.
Well, because he knew what they were needing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, because like so the company I work for, we were invested in by JP Morgan, one of the largest banks in the world. They have an investment arm. So JP Morgan literally goes and deploys money across the market in these different startups, such that hopefully one of those startups will build a good enough product for them to be able to acquire and to bring into their suite of product or service offerings. Like,
which is, I mean, that's an entire business model.
Yeah, because it's much faster and cheaper for JP Morgan to just go deploy capital with a really good operator or entrepreneur instead of them trying to do it in-house, because it would take so much longer and it would be much more expensive, because like a startup can go operate much more independently, or I guess can go operate much more efficiently because they're not beholden to all like the restrictions and red tape and bureaucracy of a company as big as JP Morgan.
Yeah. One of our clients is I'm not on anywhere super like secure. Like, I don't think it really matters. One of our clients is I'm just bringing this up because you said JP Morgan is a Berkshire Hathaway company. So that's pretty cool. We've got but it's so interesting, because you think of JP Morgan, you think of like Berkshire Hathaway, like just financial companies. And then the company that we work for is part of a wing of like retail solutions. I'll just say, I feel like that's the easiest way to say it. But I think that's pretty cool. Like that, part of me is like, oh man, these rich people buying up everything. But then also it's just kind of cool to see like how different companies function at different levels, if they're a startup or if they're under this. I mean, there's wings of like this company that they are, I mean, they're like a small team, and they're kind of like, not stretched thin, but they're just kind of have like a startup feel. Like they're very cool and like very scrappy. And then I've got other companies that are the same level, probably, that are so like they're just drowning in like red tape that it's almost impossible to get anything up and going. It's very interesting how that works. So you're talking about a startup, getting from 0 to $1 million, and then bringing in a little bit of help to get from 1 million to 10 million, and then potentially being acquired after. It's interesting to see how that goes. I think like that stuff is kind of
those
cool.
milestones are real. Like the $1 million milestone is obviously incredibly difficult, but that looks, getting from 0 to 1 is much different than getting from 1 to 10, and then getting from 10 to 50 is much different than getting from 50 to 100. Like it's not like it scales linearly.
Linear.
It's not a linear scale. Like it's a completely different structure when you're operating at these different levels. And I think that's just underappreciated by people that are really upset with capitalism just as an idea. There are plenty of horrible things about capitalism, but I think it's worth, like, the people that run some of the biggest companies in the world deserve a lot of respect because of how incredibly difficult it is for them to be able to do that, specifically related to employing that many people. Like the number of people that Walmart employs, or Coca-Cola employees, or Exxon employees is like absolutely staggering.
and
Yeah.
to discount that for it to be some like evil thing is like really wild to me, because like these are people's livelihoods that those companies are responsible for.
Yeah.
Even if it means like all these layoffs and stuff have really got people turned over. But it's like, I mean, they're still employing tens of thousands of other people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like sometimes these things come at a cost. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that it's people's livelihoods, but it's either that or the whole company goes under, which is like
Yeah.
even more people's livelihoods. So it's like, I don't know, the expectations that people have out of people that run businesses is actually quite insane.
Yeah. I don't want to go too deep into this because I know we need to talk about holiday planning.
I mean,
but-
there's a little bit of an overlap between a conversation
Yeah.
about capitalism and holiday spending.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just before, yeah, we can talk about that. But I just want to say from, I'm about to come up on I mean, technically I'm kind of like, I'm almost at a 2-year anniversary with Scrappy ABM. And I have to, I mean, just watching like Mason, my boss, who is, I mean, he's my friend too, but just watching him go from, us being, we both worked in an agency together and him doing this and just seeing those decisions that he makes, like you mentioned, like going from 0 to 1. I mean, it was kind of crazy fast. He was almost at 1 million before he started hiring people, just because he was bringing in so many. He started just bringing all these deals and he started, hiring. Yeah. Started hiring people. And then for us to get to 10, hired a second team, trying to figure things out, almost closed our podcast wing, reopened our podcast wing again when he found the right person. Like, I remember like the podcast wing was almost going to be like not a thing anymore, but then like we kind of found the right person. And then, like I said, started hiring people, made some good hires, and then had some people sort of grow out of it real fast and realized that, kind of went overboard a little bit. And now we're looking at, like, we just had a meeting today to talk about like team structure. Cause he's like, okay, like we are dead set on 1 to 10. Like we're going to 10 million now. Like that's it, and it requires some restructuring. And like, our operations guy like stepped down. He's like, hey, I was here for 2 years, and which kind of sucks. Like I was, I became pretty good friends with him, I sent him some tobacco, some pipe tobacco, and he sent me some coffee, like in the mail. Like we were, but and he, he was just like, it's just business. Yep. Like it's not personal. Well, me and you can still chat, like, but I'm not, I'm leaving. I've started my own. He started his own company that he's been working on too. But he's like, my trajectory was from 2 or 2.5 years, and I'm at that mark, and that is, so it's you're talking about laying off and making those decisions. And yeah, sometimes it's just looking at bottom line and cutting people, and maybe there's other budget line items you can move over, but a lot of times, like, yeah, it's not personal. It's just, either the whole company goes under or we let a few people go. And sometimes it's just the track that you have to take. And, at the end of the day, like if you work for a company and you're laid off and you're mad at the guy who owns the company, I mean, the guy that owns the company has staked everything he's had to or they have, he or she, whoever has staked everything they have to make this happen. And unfortunately, that's just, again, it's not personal. It's business at the end of the day.
Are we capitalist sympathizers?
I think we just, I think I've got to turn in my woke card or whatever. I don't know, no, I am, I'm definitely like, hustler. I think I'm a hustler sympathizer, I think is what I'd rather say. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we live in the system and you have to play in it. I mean, that's really it. I don't know how to, whatever your thoughts on post-capitalism or the extreme level of capitalism we're at now. Like, I hate some of the things that we have to abide by, but you can either play in it or you can, you can be try to fight it.
You could be a bystander or a participant. And you're probably going to have more influence as a participant than you will a bystander.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, my whole thing is like, if you just break it down super simple, the more money that I make, the more people that I can help, even whether it's being able to help my family and help my friends here and there, or do whatever. being able to afford to pay for this streaming platform, to, whatever it is, like the more money that I make, the more people I can help. And that's kind of how I have to look. That's how I kind of have to like look at money, is because, I can be a bystander. I can hate on capitalism and hate on Walmart or whatever. But at the end of the day, I live in it. I have to use the system to survive. And, that's my tipping point.
I think that, I would love to see a Venn diagram of the number of people that espouse that sort of hatred towards capitalism that work for some of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, it worked for a PE backed
that are working for I don't know, Darden Foods or Walmart or whatever, Amazon. But anyways, that maybe is besides the point. I think it overlaps with the topic of holiday spending because of the fact that there is can be a lot of pressure on people to spend money for the holidays,
to overspend.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of spend out of this like emotional state that I think a lot of us find ourselves in when we're coming up on the holidays, because for some reason, like, that capitalistic machine has convinced us that like the more we spend, the more we care.
Yeah.
So I guess like
money spent equals is directly correlated to how much you love or care.
Yeah. I mean, like that's why like the diamond industry exists. Like, and especially when
it's
you
kind
have
of
kids,
also double-edged in a way.
More difficult.
I feel like it's kind of double-edged in a way where the more you spend is directly correlated with how much you love or care about somebody, but also the amount of individual things too. I feel like you're kind of stuck to where you have to not only spend a lot of money, but also buy a lot of things. Because if I buy you one big thing, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, this is great. But what if I had like 50 things,
Well, maybe depend on the age of the person you're buying for. I think your adult partner would appreciate one really nice, thoughtful thing, as opposed to your kids just want like 50 things because they just love to rip open presents.
Yeah. Younger kids probably don't realize the amount of money. But anyway, I think so you posted a video last week. Was it last week? I guess it was last week, but you're just talking about like you wait too long typically, or maybe you fixed it now. But you're like, typically, I used to wait too long and buy things last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and when you do that, you go and you spend a lot more money, and because you're trying to like overcompensate and like get things done, and you just end up impulse buying. It's like going to the grocery store and you're hungry. Mm-hmm. You're going to the grocery store, you're going to Target with the thought of buying gifts, and you're going to just buy whatever you see like on the shelf. I would like to like talk about, I want to know like how you combat that, but also because I'm guilty of buying things early and being done at December 1st, but then continuously seeing more things throughout December that I want to add to like a stocking or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think that's two like interesting like thoughts of like, how do you combat waiting till the last minute? And then how do you also combat buying early, but then still like getting the warm fuzzies of seeing all the things throughout December that you could continually buy overspending?
I think the most like practical hack would be like, if you're in that camp right now today where you have no idea what you're going to buy anyone for the holidays, I think take the next 7 days and just, think about like, actually, I'll back up. I think take all those people you want to buy gifts for, right? Like you have to write them down somewhere, like whether it be a note, whether it be in the holiday budgeting app that I created. Like you can make note of those people and then just take the next 7 days and just kind of have that in the back of your mind. And every time you come across something that you think might be something that person would enjoy, just make a note of it. Like, I don't know. It seems like super simple and obvious, but you've still got time. Like you've got the next 7 days. It's not going to make or break anything between now and then.
Yeah.
And at least start to give you a place to organize that information. And then you can start to kind of refine that over the next couple of weeks to figure out like, what you want to buy people relative to the budget that you have.
Yeah. Well,
I
how
don't
do
know.
you,
I just
how do
think
you
you
set
got.
a
I think
budget for
I think you got to
spending?
give yourself time to assess it. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of yeah. I mean, I'm gonna equate it to also like going to the grocery store hungry. Like if you eat before you go, like you'll spend less money. So if you go to Target or to wherever you're shopping at, with the mindset of, or the mall with the mindset of, I have X amount to spend. I mean, I'll take it a step further and take that amount out of your bank account and have it like cash in hand.
Yeah.
Like, I still think that is like such a psychological tool of like, if you have cash in hand, you're going to spend less, I believe, because it's like, I have $300 to spend.
Or maybe go
and when
to
it's
the
done-
mall without the expectation of buying anything. Like literally leave all your credit cards and money at home. Just like only bring your
Yeah.
ID so that you can actually like drive there legally, and just go shop without spending any money. Or use that as your like take your list of names with you and like have those in the back of your mind, and
Yeah.
then just go walk around the mall and go into these different stores and just think about like what would be a meaningful gift to give to each of those people, because then you can kind of like purchase it in your head and then go through and be like, oh wow, I could have bought 20 things for this person, but I'm seeing a theme that oh yeah, they mentioned a few months ago they could really benefit from this. Oh yeah, I saw that there. Next thing you know, like you've really been able to like whittle your list down, and you haven't had to spend any money, but you've had the experience of actually shopping for it already.
Yeah. Do you think that what you just described, like, and this may not be an impulse that like everybody, I'm assuming a lot of people probably have it just because over consumerism is a thing. And it's such like a well-known thing, but like the thing you just described is a good tactic, but how do you stop like yourself from impulse buying, like just in the moment? Like even if you went there with the purpose of only getting this or just making notes or whatever, like I'm gonna give an example, like a real life example. I like, even when I go to like, if I go to like to Starbucks now, like, and I see like they've got like new cups or they've got like cups on clearance. I like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, I want to buy one so bad. I don't know why. They're just there, and there's not even really like anything special. It's just I just want one for some reason. I have no idea why. I have to talk myself down and be like, no, I limited myself to, and maybe that's it. Maybe you just have to talk yourself down. I have to be like, no, I've got two like tumblers at home that serve a purpose. Like one is for coffee and then or other liquids, and one is for like protein shakes and stuff, and I keep those separate. And those are the things I'm gonna drink out of. I've got a hydro flask and I've got a blender ball cup, And like I honestly like I feel like that's something that, I mean, I struggle with that, and I feel like a lot of people struggle. I mean, I jumped on this stream to tell you about something I had bought, although it was from a vintage store and it was very cheap, and it's something I'm actually going to use. So I feel like it's a little bit, but it's still, I probably didn't really need that. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but like how do you break that? Like it's a psychological, like, is it just come down to just brute strength, like mad dogging yourself to be like, I will not buy this because, like, how do you break that habit?
I think the practical advice is to, let me think about this. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I'm trying to figure out like how to organize them. When I was growing up, like I used a literal envelope system to manage my money. So like my starting point into managing my money was taking the cash that I got paid for my job and literally dividing it up into envelopes. And then I would never carry cash with me. So it's like, even if I wanted to buy something, I literally couldn't. So like I put like a physical barrier between myself and spending that money. And I was doing that before, like, I really understood the power of it. I was just like, well, I'm trying to, I've only got $15 this week to spend on, entertainment. And if I carry this cash with me, I'm going to spend it. So I'm just going to leave it in my envelope until I know I'm going to go out and spend it. So I guess the short answer is like, if you're really struggling with it, I think you could put a physical barrier in place. Now, with that said, a lot of places are like, fewer and fewer places are accepting of cash. So how do you put a physical barrier in place? The first thing I thought of was to literally buy yourself a digital or a prepaid debit card.
Yeah.
Just like if like take your money, put it in the bank, because some people are like afraid of banks, but like put your money in the bank, and then on Sunday or whatever your day is that you're planning your week, figure out, okay, well, how much money do I have to spend this week? Let me set aside my money for my bills that are coming out this week. Okay, what's left what's left after I put my savings away, pay my bills, make my plan for the week. Okay, now I'm going to go buy 10 $20 prepaid debit cards because that's what I'm going to use to spend throughout the week. And then I just put one of those in my pocket every day. And then that's what I'm spending that day. And then the cool thing about that is like those are accepted anywhere. You can use them online. Like you can go refill them if you're in a pinch, or you can always just like go home and get your debit card or your credit card. But like if you limit yourself to those things physically, then that is kind of a way to put up a barrier such that you're not like going to find yourself in that position.
Yeah. No, that's smart. Cause I do something similar with either I have like a Venmo card, but it just has the money that is in my Venmo account currently. And then also like I feel like I used to do that, but I've moved on to Apple Cash now, where I can have like, somebody buy somebody's food or something, and somebody sends me $20 like for paying for their food or whatever. I'm just kind of like, this is the amount of like, it's almost like bonus money in a way. It's like I can like I'm using a bad example because this is me spending more, but I'm trying to say like you do something similar to that. But I think like I like your idea better of just buying these physical things, and it's like, if I buy, like you said, 10 cards, when this first $20 is up, that card is like gone.
Just cut it up and throw it away.
Attachment to like, it's not like I can just continually reload my Apple Cash
but you still have to have the discipline to not put all 10 cards in your pocket when you walk out the door.
Well, even if you do, I think like swiping, like you buy something for $60, you've got to swipe 3 cards. You've just lost 3 pieces of you essentially, like I think there's a lot of I think there's a sense of loss there. I feel like you feel so
maybe
more.
If you equate, you go back to the holiday spending, it's like, okay, let's say you've got your list, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to buy for these people, you've put it into your budget, and okay, I'm going to spend $50 on Johnny, $50 on Susie, so on and so forth. Well, now you go and buy prepaid debit cards for each of those people, put their, write their name on it, put a sticky note on it. And then that becomes what you use to buy those gifts. You leave everything else at home, right? Like this doesn't work if you also have your credit card in your back pocket as well. I know a lot of people also use like Apple Pay on their devices. If you're really struggling with money and like you're stressed out about it all, like remove as many of those sort of cheats as you can from like your devices and from your life, like put it in a safe, whatever you got to do. But like, I think it comes down to like a physical barrier, and then just having the discipline, but to practice it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Cause like if you have 3 credit cards and all of them in your wallet, you will for some reason use all 3 of those. Like you'll just like throughout the day, you'll just buy like Starbucks on this one, and you'll go buy lunch on this one, and then you'll buy like Christmas on this one. And then before you know, you've got 3 outstanding debts that you're, if you don't pay off that day, you're paying interest on. But if you leave all of your credit, like if you just have credit cards and you just got them, like, if you haven't cut them up yet, or you're trying to be responsible with them, like if you just leave them at home and you could only go with your debt or only go with that amount of money, you can only spend that. Like you're not gonna buy lunch on this card and then this card. You're gonna buy lunch with one of your 10 $20 cards you have, and when it's gone, like, oh, I realized I just used part of Johnny's Christmas money.
You've got to put some physical barrier in place.
Yeah.
If you're really like someone that's struggling with spending, you've got to put a physical barrier in place.
Yeah.
Because that may be the only thing that will work for you.
Yeah. I think so. I agree with that. Because it's just, it's things being digital. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I'm doing some work for a friend, and he's just been paying me in Apple Cash. And I'm like, this is just so weird because, like, where did this money that he got came from? He's never seen it physically. it's in his bank account, and then it came to me, and then I deposited it into my bank account, and none of us have ever seen it. It's just a number,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just you lose you know, the emotions of it. I think, like, if you're not seeing it in some way,
That's why.
you know?
That's why. Like, once you can get past that physical barrier requirement, you have to implement a system digitally to be able to manage your money.
Yeah.
Like, whether that be an
Yeah.
Acorns app, whether that be Truebill or Rocket Money or whatever works for you. They all kind of do the same thing. Like, no one's really got a magic secret sauce. It's all just like transaction categorization and like a fun dashboard with like maybe some goal setting. But at the end of the day, like, you got to have a system to be able to keep an eye on things, or else it's always going to run away from you, because it's only going to become more and more digital, right? Like, there will probably always be some physical option, but it'll be like a prepaid card that you can go spend somewhere, even if it's like a Bitcoin or whatever. Like, that may be an option for you, but most of it will be in like a digital realm. So you've got to figure out how to work within that system, or I guess you could just start like dealing with gold or something, or like, if you really want to be like anti-establishment, I mean, I guess you can do that, but that just seems kind of silly.
So, all right, to recap, like, to get our holiday spending under wraps here, we're suggesting, me and you, I'm on board. We're suggesting that you go and you set aside a certain amount of money, and you buy a physical card that's not attached to your bank account, so you can only spend that amount of money.
Like a prepaid debit card.
Now I'm asking you, how much money is that? How do we be financially responsible and budget the amount of money that we have to spend, that we are going to spend on Christmas presents?
I think my rule of thumb is 1% of your yearly take-home pay, or 10% of your monthly take-home pay. That would be the max.
Okay. So, I mean, what's the average? Is like 60s the average?
What's the average? What's the average or median? I always say like median take-home pay for U.S. citizen.
Might be.
They do medium household income was around 83,000 in 2024.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're looking at 800. Or we say 800. Yes, at $83,830.
Yeah, maybe 800. Like, if you're trying to figure out like what's an appropriate amount of money for me to spend, like, I have no idea. I don't know if I should spend $100. I don't know if I should spend $5,000. I would say start by taking your take-home pay and multiplying it times. You can either do 1% for the year or 10% for the month, kind of depending on how much money you make and what seems appropriate to you. But that would be like my starting point. Like, if you got to put a stake in the ground somewhere, do it as a percentage of your take-home pay.
Okay, so 1%, which we already said, if you're bringing home the average, 83 was take home.
It says before taxes.
Household.
So maybe after that, maybe it's like $60K.
Okay, we'll say 60 just to be safe. So that's $600. Does that seem like? That seems low, just like right off the bat. So,
yeah,
you are at that point, are you like getting creative with, like, are you making things instead of buying people things? Or, I like 600, like, about, that I think that's doable, but also at the same time sounds kind of low. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Is that, I mean, we're also talking about, like, I don't know if we're assuming that people have a certain amount of debt or whatever, but I'm assuming if they're really looking for something, there's probably that there. So I'm just going to, like, assume that they're really trying to go, tight budget and still feel like they're spreading a lot of love, which, again, you buy people a bunch of stuff they don't need, like, but if you don't do that, like, $600 can go a long way.
Can go a long way. I mean, you may not even need it all. I guess it just depends on, like, other factors too, right? How many people are you buying for? How old are these people? are they people that are close to your life, or is it like a coworker that you have to buy like a dirty Santa gift? You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like you have to take all those
I guess
things.
what I'm really getting at is like, is there room to do more? Or are you suggesting people like just like
No,
hard
I'm not
ass
hard
like
and fast
I'm
about it.
doing
I think that it allows you to put a stake in the ground so
yeah
that you're not just blindly spending, right? Or that you're
yeah
being too cheap, right? You might make, there's a lot of people that make, $10,000 a month that grew up super
yeah
poor and they are afraid to spend $100 on something. You know what I
yeah
mean? So it's like,
oh yeah
I think it's for people on both ends of the spectrum that are either afraid to spend no money at all or just blindly spend money without thought. This at
yeah
least gives you like some directionality and allows you to kind of put a stake in the ground to
yeah
kind of like just to ground yourself a little bit to say like, okay,
yeah
1% is not going to change your life one way or another. 1% of your take home
yeah
pay, not going to change your life. You spend an extra $600 in any given year, it's not going
yeah
to change the course of your life. Or one month out of the year, you spend 10% of your take home pay on something meaningless, right? That doesn't really,
yeah
that you may throw away
yeah
a month later. So I think it just puts a stake in the ground. And then from there, you can look at your own personal situation and be like, well, I had some bonuses this year. We paid off some debts.
yeah
My cash flow's a little bit higher. I've got a little extra money in savings. My investments did well. This, that, and the other. That may allow you to kind of move that up to 2% or 20%, right? 2% of the
yeah
year, or 20% for the month. But I
yeah
would kind of move it along those like percentage based calculations, just because everyone's in a different situation.
yeah. And just to like put it out there, I agree with you. I think that number is a really good place to start. Like, I mean, not saying I'm going to spend a set amount, but looking at percentages, because if you spend $500 this year and then next year, like if you're a business owner, you don't make as much. Like looking at it percentages, you can't, you're not going to double how much you spent, even though you made less
Mhm.
money, because you shouldn't. So I agree with that. I just think like, I'm just asking like, how do you feel? What are the thoughts on spending more? Just because I don't know. Again, a number doesn't sound like a lot. I think like if I had $600 to buy everybody Christmas, like I could do it.
Mhm.
It's not that's a good place to be, and I like that percentage. But I just know that some people are going to hear that and say, "Oh, no way! Like I got to spend $1,000 each on each one of my kids," and it's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
like,
I mean,
well, dude,
you can do whatever you want. I mean, at
yeah,
the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. But if someone is like in a position where they just have no idea where to start, that would be my guidance. And then
yeah,
if you're like, well, you start to explain more about your situation. I don't know. Like, is there like a fictitious example we could go through to like drive this point, like kind of go to the next layer of this? It's like, okay, let's say I've done the 1% or the 10% rule. Not really
Mhm.
sure about it. What do I do next? I guess what would be kind of
I mean,
the next layer of the onion if we could peel it back?
I feel like the next layer is go back. If you haven't done the first steps that you've talked about, where you're actually writing down the person's name and what you want to buy, now you've just got the number that you can spend. And maybe that's the best place to start, is you just start with the number and then you just say, okay, I've got $600 I can spend. I've got 6 people to buy for. That means I can spend $100
Yeah.
each. What can I buy them for $100? I'm not going to be able to buy Susie those New Balances because they cost $150. Or maybe Susie is my significant other, so she probably should get $150 and I should take 50 from 2 other people,
Mhm.
So like, and I think you just kind of break it down by that. You itemize it and you're like, okay, well, at the end of the day, everybody should get let's just say everybody should get $100. How can I make this go far? Maybe it's going to a farmer's market and buying like jams and cheeses and stuff like that. And like, and that thoughtful gift that you're going to spend $100 can go a lot further. Maybe you're just making them the supply, like you're just buying them the supplies to make a charcuterie board, from a farmer's market. But that's a pretty cool
Yeah.
gift. Like that's a nice gift,
Yeah.
and you've got a kid to buy for. Well, what's I don't go buy the cheapest toys, but go buy the thing that they are going to get the most like mileage out
Mhm.
of, like, for us, like we've already decided like we're not, you know, the whole like Santa thing. Santa doesn't bring you these like big extravagant gifts like we do, and Santa buys you like a wooden toy that he built in his
Yeah.
workshop. That's how we're
That's
going
cool.
about it, you
Yeah.
know. But even that, the extravagant gifts we're buying are just like a little makeup kit, and Santa got you a wooden toy because we don't need a bunch of stuff, you know, and either like we know how long you spend playing on stuff. So I think like thinking about where each of those people's vet and like, do they really need, they probably would rather not have a whole bunch of stuff, you know, they probably would. I mean, dude, if you bought me like a pack of like, you know, sausage and bread and cheese or like jam from a farmer's market, I would be like, this is awesome. You know, this is something I would enjoy. I probably wouldn't buy for myself because I just don't think about going and buying these kind of things for myself and sitting down and indulging in bread and cheese in the app. But if you bought that for me, I think that's pretty cool. And you spent less than $100 on me, but I don't think about that. You know, at least that's how I think about it. So I think like, you know, and I'm using like that specific example because that's what I'm going to do. You know, I'm just going to go buy people jams and stuff from like a farmer's market because I think that stuff is cool and that's what I value. So, you know, that's how I buy for people. But, you know, but like for my wife, like I bought her a pair of New Balance for our anniversary that she wanted. You know, so if I was put up against, I've got to buy 5 other people. Hannah will probably get the New Balance because that's what she wants and she needs a pair of shoes. So I spent $150 on those. So I'm going to take $50, $25 from this person, or $10 from all these other people. Now everybody else only gets $90. Yeah. I can still accomplish a lot with $90. So I think like, you know, I mean, lock yourself in the amount of money. Maybe don't lock yourself in the amount you spend per person and get creative with it. You know,
yeah, it's a good idea.
Go buy something in bulk that you can break up. I don't know, you know, go to Costco or BJ's or Sam's and buy something in bulk that you can take apart and spread out. You know, I don't know what that looks like, but there's got to be stuff that you can buy, you know, in bulk, or you can make something like, you know, at the end of the day, like you've got to figure out where people's values are at. And I mean, hey, maybe you cut somebody off. Maybe you don't buy somebody a gift because they'll be upset if you don't buy them something that's like crazy expensive. And, you know, I mean, if you're in debt and you're trying to get out, you got to get scrappy with it. You got to make some stuff instead of buying stuff, you know?
Yeah. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to be the one to live with that decision financially. Yeah. And so if you give yourself over to your own emotions and just buy out of emotional fear, the only person that's going to suffer for that is you.
Yeah.
The person that you didn't buy a gift, you know, you only spent $45 on instead of $100 on, they're not going to think about it, you know, they're going to forget about it in a week, if that, in a day, you know, like it's not going to mean anything to them, but it's going to matter to you a lot more. And you're going to feel that pain a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario is you just have to have a conversation with somebody. I mean, I think that's really, well, no, the worst case scenario is you spend a whole bunch of money and you go in debt on Christmas, you know, but like the second worst case scenario that is miles better, you know, light years better than going in a bunch of debt is just having a conversation with somebody being like, look, money's like super tight. I'm only buying things for my spouse and my child, or for my spouse and my mom and my dad, you know, because that's really all I can afford. I've been working hard to pay off this debt. I don't want to go in debt. I'm just, you know, like we've had to have, I mean, you know, I don't think your friend would care. Like if you buy gifts for your friends every year, you know, I buy gifts for my friends. This year, I might say he just had, you know, my best friend just had a kid. I might just say, hey, you just had a kid, dude. Don't worry about. I don't know if you may have already decided you're not going to get me anything, but I'm just giving you additional permission.
I'm going to give you the out.
Yeah, I don't want anything.
Deldrick, on Facebook, he's watching our stream. He asked if gift cards are the best thing to buy for Christmas when money is tight. What do you think about gift cards?
My opinion is if you're gonna do gift cards, buy like a Visa card. I think like unless it is something. Here's like my stipulation with that is if it is, and this is my personal opinion. So you know, think about however you want to. If I get a gift card to some place that I would normally go, it's kind of like, oh, this is cool, thanks. if I get a gift card that's a Visa card, I'm more excited about it because I can use it anywhere. Now, if it's a gift card of somewhere that I would love to go, but would never actually go myself, like maybe it's like an expensive restaurant that I would never actually go to, and I get a gift card, that I think that's like probably the coolest thing because it's kind of the experience. So I think it's like, what's the heart behind it? You know, if it's just like, if I can just like me and Chris, we're gonna hang out this Christmas and give each other a gift. If me and him bought each other Visa gift cards, we'd probably just say, "Hey, we just got each other the same thing. Just hold it," you know. And we wouldn't have our feelings hurt. But if Chris bought me like a gift card to like Texas Day Brazil, you know, which is like an all you can eat a Brazilian steakhouse in Huntsville, and I got him a card to I don't know. There's like that one barbecue place I was telling you about. I can't remember what it's called, but something like that. A place that maybe Chris would not normally go, and a place that I would not normally go, but we bought each other an experience. I think that is like top tier. And then if you get me a card to Chick-fil-A, I'm pretty stoked. But like, you know, at the end of the day, like I can only use it at Chick-fil-A. You know, so I think you just look and you decide like, do I want to buy them an experience? Do I want to just give them the opportunity to buy whatever they want on their own time? Or do I want to just kind of, you know, I think it can go, it depends on the person, but I think gift cards are, I mean, awesome. I think I would personally love to have an experience from the gift card if that's what I'm getting.
I would add a gift card that actually like to a place that means something to that person.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about GameStop.
Like, yeah.
You know, like, you know, you got to buy something for someone that loves to game, or I don't know. Maybe they just love Subway sandwiches or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, I don't know why, but like Build-A-Bear, if they have a kid and you're like, hey, take your kid to Build-A-Bear on me, you know, like something like that. Like
those gift card stands are massive now at like local stores, and you can buy so many gift cards online now. Tons of places have gift cards. I think if you, to your point, like if you know that person would really just love to have a little extra money in their pocket and you want to give them a gift card, you know, a Visa card, great. But if you can also, if you think that they might be really excited about a specific type of gift card, and go for that too. And I think it's just like, it's as long as, like you said, like put some heart into it and be thoughtful about it. Don't just do it casually just because it's easy. I think it's always the thought that counts, right?
Yeah. And I mean, and even if like, if you know this, if you live locally to this person, like, I mean, if you know a store, like if it's maybe it's like a small business they really like, find out if they have gift cards. I think that's also like,
or gift certificates even. Like I bought, well, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like I bought my mom a gift certificate to a place that does like massages.
Stuff. No, that is a good one. That is a good one.
So it's like, okay, well, I don't know exactly what spa treatment she wants, but I could just buy her a gift card that would cover like all these different packages. And then she can just pick whatever she wants, but it's for a specific experience.
Yeah. Honestly, now that we've talked about it, that might be the best gift you can like an hour. Like most places you look at, an hour is $60. If you have $600, you've got 6 people, maybe less than 6, whatever it is. If you can spend $60 to give somebody an hour massage, I think that's
like a local spa place. Like, why not?
I think that's it. I think that's actually what I'll get everybody now. Like that's a pretty good. I mean, if somebody got me that, I would be like stoked. So there you go.
There's so many good ways to skin it. Like if you are like, if you're even if it's a $25 or a $15 thing, like it's the thoughtfulness of like, hey, I thought of you. I know you're going through a really tough time. I don't really have a lot to spend this year, but I wanted to give you a $25 gift certificate to put towards $100 spa treatment, whatever.
Yeah. And like you said, like designate it, like, hey, like put that in the card. Like, hey, I want you to get a full hour. And I bought half of the hour. Like you can now you can spend half the money and get the full hour, or here's the full hour. And now you can spend a little bit more to get whatever the other, hot stone or whatever that, whatever it is. If it's nails, getting your nails done, now you can spend a little bit more to get like a massage, whatever. It is.
Like buy it. If you've got a significant other or, that likes to get their nails done. Figure out where they get their nails done and buy a certificate to that, or like just any money that could go towards that. That would work too.
Yeah, I think anything practical. You also have to assume that people you're buying for are also practical in this way. but I am assuming that anybody that I'm buying something for is pretty practical, and I'm giving them a practical gift, and they're going to be like pumped about it. So
Even like jewel, I was just thinking about jewelry. I think about buying gifts for women, because we both have women in our life. Like,
yeah,
they love getting their nails done. They love jewelry, but it doesn't have to be expensive jewelry.
yeah,
Like, I learned that a lot of women like, what do they call it? What's the type of
costume jewelry.
Costume jewelry.
Yeah. Well,
Costume
Hannah's mom works at King Arthur, and this is kind of funny. They stopped going to they stopped going to the Harvest Festival because their costume jewelry is what was like stolen the most was like from the Harvest Festival, which I guess that's if it's out in the open, people are just grab. But I think I bought Hannah a ring from an estate sale the other day because it was one of our kids' like birthstones. I mean, obviously it's a fake. Like I know it's a fake ring, but it was kind of like, hey, I saw this and it was a birthstone, and that's kind of like cool. Like I think, yeah.
They care more about. I mean, I know that like a really expensive diamond or like that's well set, and that could be like an heirloom piece or like a generational sort of piece of jewelry means a lot to someone. But I think those things, a lot of women are square. Maybe I'm not to speak for all women and what they think about jewelry, but like they maybe not want to wear something like that every day. You know what I mean? Like, oh, costume jewelry is a much safer option because I don't have to worry about it getting broken or dirty or like catching it on something or whatever. So anyways, that's besides the point. I'm going to stop speaking about that.
Well, no, I mean, that's fair. Like, yeah, obviously you're not generalizing for everybody, but like, if you're a man listening to this and you're thinking like, if I'm going to buy jewelry, I can only buy the most expensive. Like I've got to buy like a freaking like tennis bracelet from Tiffany's or something. Like maybe just ask and be like, do you like, I mean, it's as simple as saying, do you like costume jewelry? And if you do, what kind of thing? I mean, it's pretty simple. What kind of things do you like?
Look in their jewelry box.
Yeah. Find out what's real and what's not. And or look at what they wear. Do they wear a bunch of rings? I guarantee a bunch of those rings aren't real. Or if they wear like a bracelet or, obviously I think some people have like skin issues where they can't wear everything, but find out what they can wear. Can they wear, can they wear like a cool, what's it called? Like a gem or like it's not a medallion, but like a charm on like a necklace that's not a brooch. Yeah. Can you wear on a necklace that's not like a fake piece? Can it go on like a string or something? And that makes it kind of like cool. Like, find out like, dude, even like, I know this is like might be kind of like trashy, but finding like cool jewelry at like a pawn shop that's like, I've seen people find like really cool like turquoise style like jewelry, maybe a pawn shop is bad. I don't know. I probably might have just made myself sound really trashy, but like
no, I mean whatever works. I mean, pawn shops or like secondhand stores, antique stores. Jordan Pace said that Pinterest peeping is the play. To create a fake account and follow your significant other for gift inspo.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't even know that you could see what other people pinned. So first of all, Jordan's so funny. I started following him after our last live, and like everything he puts on his story is so funny. So Jordan, you're hilarious.
Jordan's a real one. He's been following along since day one.
Yeah. Jordan cracks me up.
He sent me something the other day about this. This is unrelated to holiday budgeting, so we can come back to that. But it was this thing called the index card. There's a PBS special on this kind of like just layman, average guy who had no financial background that came up with a financial advice sort of methodology where it all fits on an index card. And that was kind of like how I didn't go too deep into it, but Jordan's like always sending, like Jordan's great about like keeping this stuff in the back of his mind and like sending this stuff to me based on things that we talk about on these live shows and like content that I put out there.
Well, I want to come back to since we're breaking apart from just for a few seconds from financial planning on the holidays. I do want to show you. I told you that I bought something this weekend. I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
This is something, and maybe I'm going to sound very stupid when I say this out loud because I did not know this. But did you know that audiobooks have been around longer than Audible? Okay, like did you know that they used to put audiobooks on vinyl?
No.
So
But that makes sense.
I
That
went
makes
to a
total
record
sense.
store this weekend and bought how to what is this? How to Master Time Organization. Pretty legit. I thought like that's something I can listen to now that probably still holds true. And it came with like a little booklet to go along with it.
Wow.
I mean, a record like vinyl can hold like an hour. So I'm thinking this is just an hour-long audiobook that's gonna like really help me out. I mean, it just seemed very interesting. But I will show you the I saw this from across the record store, and that's when it turned on my mind that they made this. And this is a little hokey. So everybody that's watching, if you know what this is, like know that I understand that it's a little hokey, but it's kind of still amazing that I bought Think and Grow Rich, you know, on vinyl. You know, do you know about Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of always like it feels like it's always in the pocket of some like financial guru in some way, and it's kind of like a little woo-woo, you know, but like. I thought this was just like I could not resist for $5. By the way, like I could not resist buying Think and Grow Rich on vinyl with a little cheat sheet. You know, like
Wow.
I think that is, you know, like
Of course they did. Of course they did that.
yeah.
I mean, there
Yeah.
were books on tape. What are we talking about? Oh, I guess this is before tape. Yeah. I mean, so it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I knew that there were books on tape, but books on vinyl for some reason did not cross my mind. So anyway, I thought, you know, if I'm trying to, because I've really gotten recently into, because I have a Spotify premium account, so I can listen to audiobooks, but I've really just been going and listening to like 20-minute summaries of books because sometimes I'm like, I want to know, like, I think like, what used to be was it Blinkist that would do like a 5-minute summary? I think the 5-minute summary is too short. I really want like a 20 to 30-minute summary, and then that'll kind of let me know if I want to dive in deeper to this full book. I think this is the perfect like middle ground of like an hour-long audiobook will probably cover most of it.
so
and, like, read along,
do they
you know?
do they strip out a lot of the extra stuff? Like, how do they get it down to an hour?
I don't know. I haven't. I need to listen to it. That was one of the things I want to do this weekend was listen to it. But like, I mean, yeah. There's no. I'm assuming it's got the 11 chapters. I'm assuming that it is just the foundational. Like it's just the foundations of each chapter is what I can assume.
Interesting.
Like I've got to
Kind of like the
listen.
Cliff Notes, whatever. Like they were like, okay, kind of like our budgeting method. They're like, okay, we've got an hour, we've got 11 chapters. It's going to be,
yeah,
you know,
because it's like it's
minutes
you
a
know it's
chapter.
narrated by somebody else. I mean, I don't know how long Think and Grow Rich has been around for. I mean, this is from this particular disc is from 1965. So
Interesting.
I just thought it was very interesting, and because I'm also like, I mean, obviously, like I I got the record player right there. I love vinyl and stuff, but I'm also trying to. We're talking about physical means. I'm trying to do things that are more physical. I'm trying to like, if I'm sitting here working, I'm trying to listen to like vinyl or tapes or CDs and not listen to streaming. I'm trying to like just make but then I saw this, I was like, for $5, like it's kind of worth having because it's just so I feel like at everybody's journey, you know, whether it's through financial literacy or through entrepreneurship, I feel like Think and Grow Rich comes up. I mean, I have it as an audio, I have it as a book, like a Kindle book on my phone that I've just skimmed through. So I feel like if I had this and like The Artist Way, I don't know if you know about The Artist Way, but it's also like one of those books I feel like always comes up on but anyway, I just wanted to like throw that out. I thought it was like very interesting and just kind of fun.
1937 was
when
the original printing of Think and Grow Rich.
Interesting. Well, there you go, guys. It's not new age. Woo-woo stuff has been around for a long time.
Forever. Well, the first books were that they printed with the printing press, other than the Bible, were about how to catch witches.
Interesting. I didn't know
some
that.
of the most popular books that were in existence at the time of the Gutenberg press.
Huh. I would have thought what year was that?
I don't know.
What was the printing press? It's becoming a history. I would have thought like something, but I don't know why, but I would have thought that like fantasy something. Well, yeah, because I'm trying to think. By the time the printing press came around, enough people were literate that it made sense to print books, I would assume. So I would think that by that point, people were reading like escapism. They were reading like H.P. Lovecraft and like, stuff like that,
Maybe that was part of it, but the Gutenberg printing press was perfected around 1450.
Oh, okay. I'm stupid. H.P. Lovecraft is kind of modern. So I mean, he was born in 1890, so I'm stupid. Like, I mean, obviously, I know the printing press has been around longer than that, but I guess I just thought that'd be pretty wild. That would be very Lovecraftian if they could print a Lovecraft book 400 years before he was born.
That was.
If you want to reconsider your co-host for this show, I understand.
100 Years' War, the Renaissance, fall of Constantinople, the Age of Exploration, Ming Dynasty, Inca, Aztec Empire, Inca Empire, kind of around that era.
So it was. Oh, okay, I got you.
Let's see. We're really going off the rails here. Most popular books.
Well, I mean, if you just want to talk about how crazy, I mean, like, I don't know. I always like get freaked out when I look at like when things were around, and you find out that like Pablo Picasso like died in the 70s. Like he was like you think of Pablo Picasso, like, oh, he's like this ancient, this this far off, long ago artist, but dude was driving like a Honda Civic, just driving around Spain in a Honda Civic, like that's, how crazy it is to think. Like, so I think about like the printing press. I'm like, oh yeah, that was like 200 years ago. HP Lovecraft was around, so
other popular texts of there included indulgences, calendars, fables, devotional materials, reflecting the high demand for religious and practical information as the printing press gained traction.
That's interesting. So when people were really becoming literate, they were like, I want to just learn more things. I don't want to escape from life.
Yeah, it must have been just all about information. I mean, that's what we do now. I mean, Wikipedia is
asking me for $3 every day.
Jordan said that his parents used to play The Jungle Book on tape in the 90s.
Hey, I've got Masters of the Universe on tape. I've got it like over in there. I have Alice in Wonderland. I also have Masters of the Universe on tape. That was mine when I was a kid. So
how analog.
Yeah, I like. I mean, dude, my car has a tape player still. So,
well, maybe talking about like being frugal for the holidays. That might be an angle, right? I mean, buy someone some like nostalgic entertainment, like analog entertainment of maybe like a cassette tape or a vinyl or a CD or something like that. Of like
record your musings on a tape player.
make them a mixtape.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, look, I just bought this 10 pack of disc right here because I want to make some mixed CDs. I haven't made them yet, but
there you go. There's a lot of ways in it.
As much as we love digital, well, I mean, I guess like hard drives and stuff are physical, but like disc are still the best way to. We're way off the rails, but disc are still the best way to record like data that you want to keep for like years. Like if you have like I bought a pack of what's called M discs that are supposed to last for like 10 years because I learned that like if you put stuff on like your computer or like an SSD like this,
Lost him. We lost Trevor. Well, it's just me. See if he comes back. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Oh, your audio's out. No audio. Yeah, I'm not getting any audio. Nothing. Let's see. I can see. Yeah, I'm not getting any audio from you. If I hover over the sources, even your mic's not picking up audio. Wait,
What
there you
about
go.
now?
Yep, you're on.
Great. I don't know what happened. I accidentally unplugged my hard drive, like my drive, and it just sent everything to a frenzy.
Speaking of like
accidentally-
hard drives.
Oh, so you accidentally sent me a voice message, but you deleted it. But
Oh, yeah.
you were singing the the Wheel of Fortune or whatever theme song, and it like read it to me. It was saying like
do.
Yeah,
What was
okay.
it? Not Wheel of Fortune.
It's not
What does that show?
Price is Right.
No.
No,
What
what am I thinking of?
Jeopardy.
Oh yeah. You're right. Okay, you ever watch Supermarket Sweep?
Yeah, it's great. It's
It's
really
one of
fun.
It's one of my favorite shows.
That's a fun show.
Yeah.
It's a really fun show.
Well,
What else? Anything else about finance? I mean,
we've already I feel like we've talked back and forth on like budgeting and stuff, but last time we talked about your spreadsheet that you made, but now you actually have like a custom like GPT that you made.
I actually made, yeah. So I have a few things that I've created. Anyone listening here can go to my Stan store, stan.store/clarity cashflow. You can see like all the little things that I've created. The first time we did this, I had made a mobile friendly spreadsheet for holiday budgeting. Since then, I learned about a tool called Lovable that you can use to create web apps using AI.
Nice.
And it's I called it the Budget Blissmas app. And it's basically the spreadsheet template, but better because it's an app and it's much more intuitive and user friendly. And I also have created a custom GPT called Cashflow Buddy that you can use with ChatGPT. The app and the GPT are free. So I definitely, if you're on here I'll definitely check those out. And let me know what you think.
Yeah, I need to go check it out. The custom or both of the things are they're both super cool. You're about to show me how to do it because you were telling me that I recently created something that's not budget related, so I won't talk about it. But you're like, you should make a GPT out of that, and I was like, I don't know. I got to figure out how to do that, how to feed it the right things.
It's easier than you think. The instructions don't like there's an instructions component and then there's like a files component. So you kind of create this like container. The GPT itself is like a container, and then the instructions kind of give it guidance on how it should respond when someone interacts with it, and then the files can be used as reference material for the responses.
Yeah.
So the instruction is kind of like the tone and its direction, but the files are more of its like, long-term storage of information that it calls on to answer those questions contextually.
Yeah. That's cool. I tried to make an app over the summer that this is such a random thing, but would like automatically, like if you use Spotify, if you gave it a Spotify link, it would give you a YouTube Music and an Apple link. So like if you wanted to share a song with a friend who didn't use Spotify, but you did, and like vice versa. And it worked, except I had to like pay to be an Apple developer to be able to use. I have to pay $100 a year to use Apple's API. And then I was like, do I want to pay $100 just to have this? And I decided I didn't. So although maybe I should have paid the $100 and built like a web page that had like ads or something on it. But like, it's just kind of like a fun experience to use. I use Blitz, I think is what it's called. I use Blitz to build the app. It was pretty cool.
I like hosting these things on Stan.
Yeah.
They make it very easy to create new products and take payment.
Yeah.
There are and it's built for more like digital creators, I would say, or just creators in general.
Is that have you used I'm sure you've seen like Gumtree? That's like the same thing, isn't it?
Gumroad?
Or Gumroad, yeah.
Yeah, some of them I've used Gumroad. It just I didn't really like the UI. It felt a little limiting for what I was trying to create, or just like the ideas that I had, and maybe I wasn't using it. It kind of just wasn't the right timing.
Yeah.
But I came across Stan through Gary Vee, and I just really thought the app itself is like very well made. And the sort of the landing page component and like the way the products are laid out, I think just makes a lot of sense. And
nice.
And I can put it in the link, or like I can put the link in the bio of all my socials. So like the way I think about it is like, these conversations that we're having today, or like videos that I put up, I can talk about these products, or I can just talk about other things, right? And create videos about other things that I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. And then if something hits, like if something goes viral, or if like somebody sees something interesting that they want to go, explore what I've created, it's all there in my Stan store, and they can just download the file. They could, sign up for a course, or they could, access the GPT all from within that one sort of landing page.
Okay.
So it's like, and it's like cool because every time I create something, or like maybe I make a new template, or maybe I want to do a course on something, I can just create it and then add it to the Stan store and then be done with it. And it's just like really easy to iterate on stuff and just get it out there.
Okay, that's interesting. I might need to check that out, because like I've used Gumroad, and but I've always done it where I'm buying like one thing. Mm-hmm. But I really like the way that you described it. That made it seem like you could like upselling, or maybe finding everything in one place on Stan store is maybe a little bit easier. Like as a creator, you might want. Mm-hmm.
I'm logging in now to. Because there are like so many different product types that they kind of have like set up for you that you can choose from. But there's also a lot of open-ended ones as well. Like you can collect emails with a lead magnet. You can do all your call management, like, book a call, or like paid coaching or whatever, courses, webinars, link to any sort of URL or media, like embed a Spotify link or embed a YouTube video, whatever, any sort of digital product, you just upload the file and it's there. So people could just download copies of it. Pretty much a custom product. So basically anything else, right? Recurring memberships, you can host communities. And then they also has like its own affiliate link that you can promote as well. Any sort of digital product, it pretty much covers, which I really like about it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And it's like 30, I think after the 2-week trial, I think it's like $29 a month.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I've
and then payments through Stripe.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that, but I just like, just don't make anything, or like start making something, don't finish it. But I did finally make something last week, because I like basically like mentioned something on my podcast, and I was like, hey, I got to actually build this before they finish the episode, because I mentioned it. So
well, like for me, I feel like I've been exploring so many different ideas for things to create.
Yeah.
And I just had a hard time figuring out how to organize it and just get it out there. And it felt like too cumbersome to try and create all these little different products on my website. So this just felt like a really approachable and like intuitive and like low friction way to just like create it, put it up, be done with it. If anything comes of it, great. I can always take it down later, or just add it to a repertoire, add it to my website later. But at least like, as we're doing these things actively, like these podcasts, or just making content more actively, I can always just keep putting the most relevant thing on that Stan store. And if then something's working, I can just leave it up there and keep adding other things. Or if it's not working, just remove it and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like, I mean, this is coming from like a place of privilege, I guess. Maybe not privilege, but like obviously not everybody like gets on and on a podcast to talk every week. But like if you just went live, and just sat on, made yourself talk about something, it's kind of like crazy how easy it would be to like think of stuff to like create. If you wanted to create stuff like you just mentioned, like, you could almost think of something every single week. Like, like this week, I mean, we could make like a creative holiday guide, based on how do you buy things under like, like last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about just like budgeting in general. And it's like the holiday budget. We've talked about the 1% rule or the 10% of your monthly, but now it's like, we could make you've already created that. Now from this crazy conversation, we could talk about, we could make a guide around creative whatever, or we could make a guide around, printing presses,
We probably got the most content for like creative gift buying on a budget.
Yeah. But yeah, which is, I think like
every time a gift card buying guide.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every time we've been like having conversations like this for years, and we just now really have put it. We've recorded them, but this is the first time it's been out. But I think like I just forget how easy it really is. Pretty easy to like if you just sit down and just kind of like riff. It's pretty easy to come up with problems and solutions and create things. So I'm really just saying this out loud because anybody that wants to create something, it's actually not that hard. But you kind of just need to sit down and like talk it out loud,
And so what I've been doing is literally going to Restream, and instead of going live, just hitting record, and I'll have a prompt that I have provided myself to just talk about and riff on. And then I will just do that until I run out of things. I mean, just literally just stream of consciousness until I run out of things to say about it. And then usually from that there's enough little pieces that I can clip together a 1 minute or a 90-second long video that I can then go post. And that's what I've done. The most recent video I put, like how to use AI to build investor ready financial models. It was like a little bit of a demo plus like just like stream of consciousness talking. I was able to turn that into a 2.5 minute clip, but it was like 20 minutes of stream of consciousness, just like talking and like, doing the thing live. Like I was using ChatGPT live, but I was also still recording. So it was like, I don't know, you just didn't have to think about it. I was just like, let me just record everything and then I can cut out all the bullshit later.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's interesting when you kind of just like sit down and like record yourself, or you like look at like, because like I said, the podcast I recorded this last week, I was kind of just like riffing because I had somebody like cancel last minute, or they didn't cancel, they were sick, they had to reschedule. So I was just like, well, I've got to talk about something, so I was just like hopped on and was just talking about like content creation, and I was just like, it's pretty easy to create content. Like, this is how you do it. And then I was like, that's a whole guide. Like, that 30-day like sprint thing was just kind of like riffing off of. But yeah, like you said, like you get on there and if you can talk about something that you know about for 30 minutes, like, I mean, to get 10 minutes of content out of that, like,
you and I maybe have a tendency to have a lot of thoughts. And so we could just riff for 30 minutes without thinking about it. Like I was telling Bailey, I was like, I just went up there and talked for like 25, 30 minutes. And she was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you just, how do you have anything to say for that long? And I was like, I could do this for hours. Like I had to cut myself off.
Yeah.
So,
I got told by my podcast editor, he's like, can you shorten the episodes? I was like, yeah, I can. Yeah. I mean, it's harder to cut it to 35, 40 minutes than sit there, and it's easier to talk for an hour and a half about something.
Yeah. Or nothing. Talk about nothing for an hour and a half. But I was thinking, like, if you're a different type of creator, like if you're an artist or you are like a crafter or you're a musician, like you could just record yourself doing that thing for 3 hours, right? Like if you're a guitar player, like just noodle around for 3 hours. And at some point you're probably going to have like a cool, like 2 minutes of like riffing this great bridge that
Yeah.
it's great, you know,
I
or
mean, you're
like
probably already practicing for 3 hours or an hour or whatever. Like, I think, like, just record yourself doing whatever you do, not with the intent of creating something, just with the intent of doing what you normally do. And there's probably a
Mhm.
lot of good stuff that comes out of that. Like, I think that's where me and you should have started recording ourselves a long time ago. Like, I mean, we
I've got them in the archives somewhere.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of recordings I've got to go through and organize, but I
I mean, I
think
used to go. I remember I used to go sit out in my car on my lunch break and like talk to like we would just talk about at that point we were talking about like content marketing and stuff a little bit more than like finance related stuff. But
Mhm.
like, that was if we would have had like it recorded ourselves individually as well, I think is where which I used to, but just kind of, you get busy or you think it's not working. It's all about the distribution. I think that's very important to know that it's like the distribution is what's important. If you record yourself and it just lives on like an Instagram story for 24 hours, like there's very minimal impact. But if you can record yourself and turn it into like now we've got reels, but TikToks or like a YouTube video, or you put like 10 short videos together into one YouTube video, like, people watch those too. People watch like just all of your short form videos in one long video on YouTube. So like it's all about the distribution,
and that's the part that I get. Yeah, that's like the next layer to it, right? It's like how do I get it out there? How do I organize it and get it out there in the contextual way?
Yeah.
And I think that is only something you're going to get better at if you do the other thing first, which is to just record the thing and then just start. If it's clipping it up, if it's writing a blog about it, if it's whatever. I mean, like from this conversation, I'll have this video, I'll clip it up, I'll figure out like what are some of the themes like to make like 1-minute video or 2-minute video or whatever, like, really try to boil it down to its essence. But then also like there could be a guide derived from this that could go into like a blog article or a Substack article or something like that. I don't know. Like, I think that's the part I need your help with is it's like, okay, now we've done this thing. Like how do I extrapolate as many like valuable pieces of content from this to share with the world so that like even if people weren't able to join today, they can still benefit from maybe some of the valuable things that we've talked about.
Yeah. If I was, well, this is what I need to do as well. Like I've got like, like if I think about like my podcast, for example, that I just recorded my 18th episode. So I've got 18 episodes of stuff. Each one of those 18 episodes can be a blog that I should have already written.
Mm-hmm.
But and then probably each one of those could also be like a guide of some kind, like some it doesn't have to be things that are paid. Like each person probably said something unique and interesting that can be turned into like some sort of thought piece that could be packaged as like a PDF, each thing could be I would like out of one episode, like I feel like getting seven like short form videos should be pretty easy, and I'm turning those since I'm recording them I'm also putting them on YouTube. So like they're a YouTube video and then there's a shorts video that's calling back to that YouTube video. Then there's a blog and the video is also in the blog. Like, I'm just trying to think of how I can keep people engaged. And then eventually this is like a little hack that it's not really a hack. It's what I've been working on recently is to get myself brought up in AI like suggestions.
Yeah.
And maybe we talked about this already. I know I talked about this I think I talked about this in the last podcast episode, but like whatever, like go to Quora and go to Reddit and look for people asking about holiday budgeting things and give them an answer, a short answer with the long answer being this video or this podcast episode or this holiday budgeting guide. Like I put together over the summer. I was doing because we just had a new baby, so I was doing like kettlebell exercises at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put together like a week long like kettlebell at home kettlebell workout program. And like there's so many avenues there. At home workouts, kettlebell workouts, at home kettlebell workouts. Those are 3 like different sections that I can go look at on Reddit and Quora, which I did. And people who are looking for those kind of things, I would say here's a pretty good one. That's pretty much all I would say.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, what's a good at-home workout? Here's a pretty good one. To this link to this thing that I did. Here, what's a good kettlebell workout for beginners? Here's a pretty good one. That's literally all I had to say. And link to this, and link to a page where you could download it. And I had just from doing that, like over the summer, I had like 50-ish people in like a email list that I would just send stuff to.
Where did you host it? Where'd you host the file?
Just on I just use MailChimp because that's just what I've always used. There's probably something better, but I've always used MailChimp because it's just you can do almost everything on the free account.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that was more of like I wasn't going to build a career off kettlebell workouts, but I was mostly that was just like a test. Can I get brought up in suggestions, and can I? And been doing kind of the same thing with my podcast. I don't know exactly yet what people would search for to find me, but I do know if you just Google the Content Crowd, Google's AI does say it's a podcast hosted by Trevor Grimes, and that's cool. That's like a first step that's like a step in the right direction for me, to start linking to other things.
Let's see. Interesting. So, what is the Content Crowd?
Yeah, so when I Googled what is the Content Crowd, and I came up the Content Crowd Apple Podcast. There's another thing called Crowd Content that's messing up my stuff, but it does come up. The Content Crowd, the
there
podcast.
You go. Yeah, when you do a podcast, it includes it.
It's a step, I don't know exactly just from Googling that, I found out that my podcast is on Amazon Podcast, but only in Spanish speaking countries.
So if I do who is Clarity Cashflow from Nashville, then I show up in the AI overview.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
That's cool.
But
dang, that's really cool. So it's like, yeah, like the AI stuff is still going to help people that are creating good things. Like if you're creating good things and it addresses like,
and you're putting it in the right people. Putting it in the right place. I think
put it in the right place, but also like if it's like obvious, like the types of people that you help and what you're able to help with, then like the AI will see that and it will organize that for you. But like it's a little bit of a volume game, but it's also like it has to be well intended. It can't just be like random slop.
Yeah, which is what I meant. Like, when I made the kettlebell thing, I was kind of looking at those 3 things. So like to get more, when I start turning each of these episodes into blogs and a few more things, I can start kind of putting those places where they really matter. And I need to like get them on my website and index all that and have all that out there, and then start really going and putting it out there. And I think like when people start looking for, whatever type of podcast, content creation podcast, content marketing podcast, like those kind of things, how to become a content creator, that's what I want to come up for. And so I think it's important to get all those things, get a good base of all those things, like get each episode on my website, get a short blog or some kind of recap on my website, so that information is there, and have that like foundation in place. And then start really attacking, like, how do I become known as the podcast that helps people become content creators? Then start go into Reddit and just type in content creator, how to become a content creator, tips on becoming a content creator, content marketing, those kind of things, and start reading and see what people are saying, and insert certain episodes into that conversation, and the same on Quora, how to become a content creator, how to make money from content, how to start a podcast, you know, those kind of things, and start inserting my episodes where we talk about these things as the how-to to this, and start getting it indexed in these communities. Because to my knowledge, the AI, like Google's AI, looks more at like community conversations than it does web pages, because web pages are becoming more AI anyway. And it's just kind of like, that's kind of like my thought process on that, and how to make the most out of what I'm doing.
Did this sort of strategy become more clear as you did more podcasts?
Yeah. And that has also influenced how I help, like our clients do things too. Like now when doing like market research, like, you know, you're looking at competitors and what competitors are saying. I'm going on Reddit and I'm going on Quora, and I'm seeing where people are talking bad or good about this client. And if whichever way it is, then I can bring that to them and say, okay, I know you guys are looking at market research and you've got good, testimonials, but where people are really talking is on Reddit, and they hate using your product. Their company bought your product for them to use and they hate it. And so how can we combat that? You know, how can we lead with the reasons why that's not true, or how can we fix that and make it not true, kind of thing. So that's been a huge, like,
I dig it.
You know, change in.
I've noticed that a lot of the company I work for gets a lot of leads through AI responses.
Yeah,
like
that's awesome.
Treasury and finance people looking for a certain type of product, like looking for a cash management tool or a treasury management tool, and Travada is one of the options that AI suggests.
That's awesome.
And, you know, and it's a result of a lot of their SEO efforts and a lot of the content that's been created. But I mean, a lot of it is like it's like a frequency bias, right? Like the more times you show up associated with this term, and, you know, the validation of, you know, the backlinks and stuff that validate that, you know, helps too. But that's the play now. So you just gotta, again, it's like, do you want to be a participant or and just play the game, or do you want to be a bystander and bitch about it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to do. Like, yeah, AI, like whether you're an AI hater or acceptor, like you can play the game and learn how to use it and use it correctly, or, you know, stand by and hope that it doesn't, you know, negatively affect you.
Yeah. One thing I've done to kind of figure out how to use some of the notes that I've captured is to do that sort of live stream recording, or just like, you know, just kind of stream of consciousness recording.
Yeah.
Based on notes that I've taken. Right. So it's like when Jordan sent me that information about the index card, I didn't have enough time to like really dive into it then, but I added that as a note. So now I'm thinking, well, I could just go live or like screen record myself or whatever, just exploring that idea for 45 minutes or 30 minutes. And then I've got 40 minutes that I can clip up into a video. And then I can be like, here's what I think about the index card method.
Yeah.
And now that's a video that like I can create off of something someone sent me and just like opine on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good, I mean, that's kind of what I talked about in my podcast when I was like, you know, reflect on the day or whatever, like what worked well, what was interesting, kind of thing. Like that's like your thing. Like that was interesting, and it's something that I can like speak to. Because I'm even thinking now, like, can I make the index card method work for content creation? Like I'm already thinking like that might be what I talk about this week. Be like, hey, a friend of mine was talking about this for, you know, it's not for just finance. Like it's just organizing information. I mean, that's what that's how people study. I mean, I've got this right here is full of index cards where I write people's names and index things about them. So like, which comes from a book that I was reading. So I'm not just like weirdly like writing people's names, but like, you know, you index people in your mind on that's how I'm sort of like indexing people and what they do and things about them. So in the future, I can pull out those cards and be like, oh yeah, I met this guy and this is what he does. And it's interesting to remember
Index
that.
or sticky notes or like any sort
Yeah.
of any sort of like consolidation and like boiling things down to their essence. I think is a fruitful exercise, and I think that's why like being able to just record these things like long form and then go back and edit them later is so powerful because you don't have to really think about trying to be so concise in the moment. But over a long period of time, like there is a theme or a general idea that's being discussed that you can then just kind of go clip out all the junk, and
Yeah.
now you've got something that you've boiled down to be a pretty solid thing. And then like what you said, now you have more clarity around you want to be the guy that helps people create content.
Yeah.
Like gives them the guidance on how to create content. Like and that only became clear because you're able to just go and sit down and record your own thoughts and ideas and like brainstorms and stream of consciousness to see what the themes were that were recurring.
Yeah. I mean, well, it took 18 weeks, but I think also what was sort of the ticket was when I went on paternity leave, when we had our second child, I wasn't doing guest episodes. I was just recording things of my own. And I think like the first two episodes were like the first two solo episodes were pretty bad because it was the first one where I was like, I'm by myself trying to think of what to talk about right now because the whole shtick was interviewing somebody and going off of their life experience and sort of using that to my advantage to make the episode interesting. So here I am on my own. And then I felt like this, like the the third, fourth, and like fifth episode by myself, I was like, okay, like I'm getting into the rhythm now. I'm kind of like, in a way, started over in the middle of my podcast and kind of had to like suck, for a few of those episodes to figure out like, what can I potentially talk about? So, I think that's, you got to have that like stream of consciousness and, and, if you're lucky enough to have somebody edit it for you, if not, there's a lot of super easy ways to, transcribe video and cut out all the dead space and all
Riverside.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I think we used to use Riverside at Scrappy Haven. I think we stopped.
If you find a better one, let me know. But I have used Riverside to cut a lot of my stuff, and it does exactly what you described, and it makes it so freaking easy.
Is it free?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
okay.
You can do a free one.
I know Descript also does it, but I don't know if Descript is free.
It's so easy because it's like you're literally just editing text.
Yeah.
And then it cuts the video and it's like, oh, this, and then you can overlay like that, how to use AI to build investor ready financial models.
Yeah.
That video was edited via Riverside from like a 20-minute stream of consciousnness.
Yeah.
And then like the screen caps, I could just upload as images and put them over the video. Like it makes it super easy. And then, I download that to my Dropbox, open Dropbox on my phone, download that to my phone, go to TikTok, upload the video to TikTok, add the captions, use TikTok's like caption generation, post the TikTok, download, and then I can post it anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just so easy. It's just so easy to do.
Yeah. So what I do is, I use the Adobe stuff just because I've been paying for I've used the Adobe suite for client projects for so long, but like, I'll do like Premiere Pro, drop the video in there and transcribe it. Do basically what you said, like cut out all the filler, cut out all the whatever. I can just edit the text. You can add captions in Premiere Pro, but it adds each individual word, which is like cool. But also like if I don't want to do that kind of stuff, I'll download it and put it on. You can do this. I mean, you could try this too, if you're already posting on TikTok, that works too. But I'll do like Adobe Express is also a free video caption tool that I use, and it gives you like, you've got, I guess the cool thing about Adobe Express, I think it has like 10 different like caption like styles that you can use. But that's cool too. I think that's a cool workflow. Like use, the work, like you're already going to post on TikTok, go ahead, post it there first and get the captions and then post it elsewhere.
TikTok is like a wild West. Like you can just put anything on. Like there's no strategy, there's no theme. It's just like
I know there's I watch videos of people talk about strategies and stuff, and I'm like, you'll never like I did this thing for like 3 weeks where I posted every time I opened the app, it was just stream of consciousness. Sometimes it was like a fun like a fun tip or something, or some days I like had a video saved that I already made, I would upload it, and they were just getting like normal views. And then one day I posted this video about how I got a bad haircut,
Mhm.
and it was the 22,000 views on this video of me saying that I like showing a haircut that I just got that I thought was bad. And I'll tell you, like 98% of it was agreeing, and like 2 people said it's not that bad, but it was I'll tell, like, I got a haircut. I'm not friends with this guy, and hopefully nobody's watching this, but I got a haircut by a guy that had an eye that went the other way from where he was looking. And I thought he's learned how to adapt to it. I don't know if but maybe he just didn't know my head well, but it was a pretty bad haircut. Like different sides, each side was different lengths, and one side of my ears were cut up real high, and the other side wasn't. God bless him. I mean, he's been cutting hair for 10 years. I believe that he has done everybody's hair great, and he needs time to learn new people's heads, and he hasn't learned mine yet. That's what I'm believing. I'm not going to go back because it was a bad haircut, and I felt bad about it. So I posted on the internet of like, look at my haircut. And everybody was like, dude, you need to go to a barber. And I was like, I did. That was the problem is my barber moved. I had to find a new one, and I'm not having luck. Anyway, that video, people love that video. That video just blew right up. Like every time I open the app, there's like 20 new likes and like 10 new comments of people just being like, so just goes to show you, like, with TikTok, there's just kind of no real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel so safe just putting anything on there because, like, one, the chances are so low, and also the chances are so high that the chances are so low that it gets seen. So it's like so low stakes, but then also you never know like what could hit, and something happens. You never know.
Yeah, just made me think I need to go look and see. I posted some video yesterday, see how it's doing. Just with I did the whole like take a picture of yourself and upload, let it use the automatic sound. I mean, you never know. I never know what it's just gonna go bazonkers.
A lot of it's just playing, just having fun.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've discovered. At the end of the day, like I'm gonna make funny videos, and I'm gonna make some educational videos, and I'm gonna make something that's in between, and I'm gonna post something whenever I feel like posting, and some everything weird things are gonna take off, and I'll have no idea why, but that's fun.
You'll never know. Never know till you do it. All right, man. I think that's it. I gotta call it. I'm exhausted. 2 hours. Nice work.
I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I mean, I think we had a great conversation where, we said a lot of different things, and I think they were all related in some way.
Yeah, there was a few tangents, but they were all connected to a central theme, I think. I'll clip this up and boil it down, and we'll do it again soon, I'm sure. Hopefully.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes out of this, and also excited to catch you on the next one for sure.
All right, man. Have a good evening.
You too, man.
See ya.
See ya.